Hello, everyone. How's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to Disco Elysium, shall we? So, one thing I always do when I'm booting up the game after taking a break is I just push J to bring up my journal, and I look for any new tasks that may have the exclamation point badge by them. So, for example, we need to pay for the damages to the hotel, and we can ask our station for additional funds by using the radio in Kim's car. And we also need to use the radio to call Sylvie using the shortwave as like a telephone connection to see if she made the call. And we have other various tasks here. And if you click on the map, we don't have the map yet. But we need to acquire of the city map before we can really look at it. But what's nice about the map portion of the journal is that it tells you where your checks are that you may have attempted or failed. So we do have 2 checks with our mirror upstairs in the room, an encyclopedia check and an electrochemistry check that we can go back and do. Lots of the checks in the game will just wait for you at any time to do them, and if they're white checks and you fail them, all you need to do in this panel, the character sheet, is to level up the skill that governs the check, and then you will unlock all white checks of that type and be able to do them again, at least roll on them again. So there is that. Now, my recommendation is don't do that in the early game necessarily, because you want to be putting points into things that will help you throughout. But especially mid to late game, you're going to get a lot of points that you could start sandbagging and strategically level up and go through the entire game that you've explored and do all the checks again to see if you can make it. Alright, so I'm just going to hold tab and see if there's anything I can explore, but it looks like I've already been upstairs. I don't think I need to go back. And this is closed and this is closed until later in the day. We can, however, if we want, come over and talk to Lena here.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Who's Sweetie? Or does that mean you like me?
Why, you are, officer.
Maybe I am.
And have you found anyone to be sweet to?
She smiles conspiratorially. No, I'm done with mating rituals this time around. Hilarious. I don't know, wink. Maybe I have. Or I had once, wink twice, but then I lost her. I don't really want to talk about that. So, in my last play, I was very interested in this, trying to recover the past of the main character, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I'm going to, be more focused on the job this time, and I'm going to say I'm done.
The maiden rituals aren't the good part, sweetie. I know it's none of my business, but you look like you need someone to take care of you.
That's probably true.
I suppose all of us do at one time or another. I don't know what I'd do without Morel. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself.
She slaps herself on the forehead.
I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
Her eyes glitter over the rims of her glasses as she looks up, smiling.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Hire her. Yeah, she should be part of our team. You seem to be in a chair. How'd you like to roll with me? Hilarious pun. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't know where I am or what I'm doing or anything. Sweetie needs money. Do sweeties get money? Hilarious. Okay, so the way I'm feeling is I'm just kind of like, I refuse to admit that I have made mistakes. I am going to have a positive attitude and just try to, sally forth, struggle through. So how'd you like to roll with me?
Whatever do you mean?
I want you to be my wheelchair partner in fighting crime, ridding backyards of corpses, catching sequence killers.
Sequence killers? Oh my.
She sounds impressed.
I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
That's true.
A partner who'll need you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
I know, but there are also side mysteries, sequence killers, and forays into the paranatural.
I can assure you with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
All right, Kim.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie.
Why? 3 heads are better than 2.
Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Perhaps another time.
All right, fine. I'm not going to say I don't know what I'm doing. We're not going to admit that. And I'm not going to ask this lady for money. And I'm not going to say something like, you seem to be in a chair to this nice lady. So I'm just going to say I got to get going.
Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
So Lena is here. We can come back to her later. But if this is your first time, explore all dialogue options if you want, and honestly, people usually are reasonable to you because you're a police officer, and they kind of like allow you to make certain remarks, but sometimes you can burn bridges if you say the wrong thing. So I'm going to click on this. What's this? A bottle of rum has been knocked over. Beautiful dark liquid is spilling out. Okay, what's this guy say? The sleeping dock worker. A man is sleeping at the table wearing mud-caked boots and rolled-down overalls. The back of his shirt reads, Wild Pines, encircled by a logo with a tree.
A colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. Makes your fingers itch.
Okay.
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine.
Okay, so I could try to wake him up, which, I am pretty good at this, but I could inspect a piece of plastic on his carbonet.
It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. Santiago S. John.
Okay. Can I take the pills?
The man does not mind.
I can.
You probably need them more than he does.
It's true. So we got some pills which are actually going to help heal our morale from this guy. And before I wake him up, I am going to try to take his ID.
Your fingers find their way into the shackle, flicking open its spring-loaded gate. The metal loop holds the plastic ID and a leather-bound pocketbook.
And the man?
The man emits a loud snore. Is he about to wake up? Doesn't look like it, but you never know. Better be quick.
So Kim won't like it. Does the lieutenant see me?
No, he's looking the other way, perhaps purposefully.
Interesting. So I kind of want to take his ID because it might help us get around for the case. Presumably, like, IDs always seem to be good in games like this. However, I'm a police officer, and this might help me solve a crime, but I'm not going to do it. Close it.
The sleeping dock worker has little to say about your actions. He remains silent.
Let's wake him up.
There is only one way to wake this bone idol from his slumber. Roar like a hurricane. Rip the buildings from the earth.
I will. Wake up. This is an order. I'm the law.
Why the yelling, man?
The 30-something man slowly lifts his head and gives you a pensive look. You're alive. You looked out for the long count there.
Wait, what? I was just sleeping. What do you want, officer?
All right. So, I can say all of this stuff. And I can say, what about the dead body in the yard?
Yeah, what about it?
You seem cool with it. Do you have many of those hanging from trees here?
People die here every day. Someone's found in a ditch, another one falls in a manhole, a third one gets eaten by stray dogs.
He respites.
If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it my concern?
Someone has to look into it. Looks like I'm that someone. Tell me what you know.
I can tell you this. Trouble's ahead.
Oh.
You have a pretty solid feeling that the man's not just mouthing off. He's strong, but even he has reasons to be cautious here.
The trouble's already here, or how else would you call a dead man hanging from a tree?
They say your guy was a killer. Your tree man. He has friends, same as him, killers. There's only one thing they know well. How to wreak havoc.
You're saying things might get violent around here?
You heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know, and I prefer to keep it this way.
Huh.
The lieutenant gives you a little nod, then makes a note in his blue notebook.
All right, now we're getting some notes. And Kim, hopefully is approving. So this is another thing you have to decide as you're playing Disco Elysium. Like, what's your attitude going to be towards your new partner, Kim? Are you going to be sociable? Are you going to try to gain his respect? Are you going to work with him? Or are you just going to march to the beat of your own drum and ignore his, objections and, perhaps more letter of the law approach to doing things? You get to make that choice. But for me, I'm trying to be a good police officer, and I didn't steal from him. I had the opportunity to, but I kind of backed out of it at the last moment. And I'm going to try to pull myself together as much as possible to do a good job here and just kind of glaze over my personal issues for the sake of the RCM.
So Union people think he was a killer, he thinks. Even Sleepy Hair. This doesn't help a lot, but it's something. Good work, detective.
It is something. It's better than zero. Now, again, of course, you play the game however you want, and at this point, what we can do is we can get a lot of information potentially from this guy about things around Martinez that we might want to know for the case. So I could say, talk to me about Wild Pines, which is, the logo on his back.
That's the name of my employer. I work in logistics.
He does. He works at the dockyard.
He doesn't sound too enthusiastic about this.
How's that going?
How's it going?
The dock worker lets out a big yawn, then stares at the cafeteria's terrace doors. Some fingerprints glisten on the glass.
Haven't you noticed what's going on outside?
Of course, it's a total madhouse.
Good. Then you understand the gist of it. We would all be better off without the employers and their employment.
Maybe.
For one, I can get some goddamn shut-eye. Right to sleep, I say.
All right, fine. But before you go to sleep, you got to answer my questions, buddy. Why you sleeping here while the others are out striking?
That's the name of my employer.
Oops, sorry. I pushed the wrong button.
Haven't
Okay.
you noticed what's going good? For
Here we go.
one,
Number 3 is
can
what I meant to
get
push.
some Nate got it. Majorette's got it. He's guarding the gate. I'm just getting some sleep.
So apparently there's a strike going on in the area outside, and he's sleeping. And Measurehead's got it as well, guarding the gate.
The way he says Measurehead implies ultimate trust in this head reckoner's physical prowess. He seems like a worthy rival. You should slay him.
I want to. I really do. We'll see. Who's behind the strike?
We are. The workers. The union. We know what we need. What's right for us.
You mean there's no leader?
Okay. I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. He's smart. Knows how to negotiate. He's got our back.
Yours? Point to the bottle and spilt rum.
Indeed. Help yourself to some. Wait. No. It's empty. Sorry about that, pal.
All right, buddy, I'll let you sleep.
The dock worker doesn't answer. His head is already back down on the table, in sweet sleep.
But see, what's amazing about this is not only did I get some good information, it's not deep information. I mean, this guy is like a completely hung over, passed out dock worker, but we got some information, and as you can see throughout this conversation, and by the way, you can grab this over here on the conversation and left click and drag it up and just see the entire conversation so you can go back and read it if you missed anything. But we ended up, we get some of the conversation anyway. I think we got a total of 10 experience right there. So we got experience. We also ended up getting the medicine for our morale for free, mind you, without really, doing anything too immoral. And we're ready to go outside. This clue right here that they give you is also very useful. What's this red?
All around you, rain falls on the great city of Revachol. Rain drips from the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away.
Indeed. So the game has zoomed out to provide me with a view of the area. And this is extremely helpful. You can't quite get a view like this, but at the same time, you'll get to know this area very, very well. You'll hear it called Martinez, which is kind of like the name of this district, I believe, and then Revachol, which is the name of the city itself. So those kinds of things will be interchangeable for this area that we're in. And you'll soon get very familiar with the names of different places, but you can always look these up to get further clue. And our Shivers is telling us, this is the reigning, destroyed swath of a city known as Revachol. And you can see it. Like, this building is, looks like it's been condemned and collapsed over here. There's just ruin and cracks along the street. It is quite the setting.
The spring thaw must be here. The snow is melting.
What am I doing? Now, this is a good question.
Looking up at the sky, cold water dripping from your hair.
So you can shake the shivers off and stop this line of pursuit, or you can go further. I'll go further. What do I see?
Grey sky like great battleships, clouds colliding with one another. Rain falls down on the world.
How does it feel?
Your shirt sticks to your chest. The shoulders of your disco blazer grow heavy. The cold finds its way in under your skin. You shiver, and the city shivers with you.
Wow.
You're not dressed for this weather. You should get an overcoat or a patrol cloak.
Indeed, it is a little bit chilly, and I'm not wearing enough clothing. But you can find out some information about, just kind of what you sense in each direction. So what's in the west?
Sheets of rain over the water. A flight of stairs leading into the ocean. Wave after wave washing the coast of Martinez, with its motorboats and gently swaying reeds. The ruins of a half-sunken sea fort crumble on an inlet beyond the Bay of Revachol. Ghosts rise into the sky.
So I can say, who are you, ghosts? What's on the shore? Run your fingers through your hair. What's on the shore?
Urban coastline. Rain dripping off Eternite-covered roofs. Cinder blots left over from half-finished construction. A defunct research and development building, once seized by revolutionaries. An old wooden church stands on stilts above the water.
So this information is going to seem like perhaps a bit vague as they describe, structures that you can't quite see. This is out of our field of view. However, many of the places that are described, we will actually get to go to as we're kind of like just taking a lay of the land here. And beyond that,
Coal City, end of all lines.
Who are you, ghosts?
The skyscrapers of La Delta, the financial district. Faint golden light seeps from the office windows.
Run your fingers through your hair.
Your hair is an oily mess flecked with ash from neighboring coal plants. Smokestacks rise somewhere in the distance.
Charming. What's in the east?
There's a fleet on the corner. A plastic coat is folded into a small triangle under the counter by the window. Beyond that, the strike breakers have gathered.
So this is kind of what they're describing, or this, voice of composure is telling me, is being hidden by the dialogue box. But east is, if the top of the screen here is north, west is over across the bay at the coast. East follows the road past the whirling and rags and over, and you could see at the kind of top right of the screen there's like some people milling about. There's like a guy raising his fist, which we presume to be the strike, and there's a frit, but this is blocking it that you can't see it. They do give you a little note here that there is a plastic coat, like a raincoat, for sale at frit, perhaps. But the main character did just make a remark about wanting better clothing for this rainy weather.
The great gates of the industrial harbor are locked. A chill runs down your back. You shudder like an animal trying to shake water from its hide.
Clench your teeth to stop shuddering.
Behind the gates, heaps of supply crates, red and blue metal shipping containers, slick with rain. The Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor is an artificial mountain range. Immense wealth resides within, and immeasurable poverty in its shadow.
So we can't really see what he's talking about right now, the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. It's kind of up here in the extreme upper right. And, we imagine all of these crates are describing the place where the Wild Pines dock worker is employed inside, and involving the strike between the union and we're not sure right now. So that's up here. And what else do we see? And beyond that?
La Ducienne, King Dries passenger harbor. Cruise ships flanked by dock arms. Cranes watching over the mouth of the river distributary.
What's across the distributary?
Couronne, the lower middle class. Distributary after distributary cuts the city blocks in half. 7-story buildings trail off into the rain.
What's beyond that?
A silvery curtain of rain over the houses. The class divide.
Indeed. And this is very much a game about, as you can see, we're talking about a strike, we're talking about a union, we're talking about a very distressed and rundown area in Revachol. Capitalism, politics, class, all of these things are in play here, even though, we're sent to get a body out of a tree, which we can actually see top center of the screen. The body hanging right here with a red-headed child kind of throwing things at it. What's in the north?
Capeside apartments. Tower blocks crowd one another. 4.46mm bullets still lodged in their war-torn stone walls.
So the apartments are further north. We can't quite see them, but we will in a moment. And this whole area is war-torn, as it's described. Blown up, shot up, never repaired.
Hallways collapse from the mortar hits of a war that was lost long ago. Clotheslines go to waste in the rain. Radios play.
And closer to here?
A yard. Rain falls onto the roof of a woodshed. Coal leaks into a puddle beneath a dead man's feet. He swings from a tree, bloated. Droplets of rain slip from his cold cheeks.
What's in the south?
A traffic jam. Rain thrumming on the roofs of motor vehicles. Inside, drivers watch water streaming down their windshields. The statue of a king shudders. He too is cold. The canal bridge has been raised.
So you can see the bits of the traffic jam right here, coming along with all of these trucks kind of just stopped and sitting here. The statue of the king is underneath the dialogue plate. What's on the other side?
The road ascends. A raised motorway loops above the ghetto. Beneath its concrete columns, a sea of rooftops, woodwork, and tar stretches northward. 4-story buildings as far as the rain can fall. The snows melt in Jamrock.
what is Jamrock? And Jamrock is a place, we'll learn about this quite a bit. It's where Gart said he lives, for example, the proprietor of the Whirling in Rags.
Revachol is the capital of the world. Jamrock is the capital of Revachol. Droplets form on your eyelashes.
So I misspoke a moment ago. So again, there's lots of terminology. So Martinez, I suppose, is the name of the region, then the larger area, maybe the whole country itself, and then Revachol is a district within it, and Jamrock is the capital of it. But I thought Jamrock was just a suburb or a district. But anyway, maybe I've got it wrong, and let's see if we can fill this up. Maybe Martinez is just a small region within Revachol, as is Jamrock. More of this information will come to light as we explore and get a map and talk to more people.
It's home.
Home. Okay. So Jamrock is home to the main character, it appears. He's saying, what is Jamrock? And my Inland Empire, my internal, has said it's home. Where the hood at? Why am I not there?
To be in Martinez, where no one goes, at the runoff point of a long-forgotten canal, in the whitest part of town, in the shadow of the day the revolution failed.
So, now I am in Martinez instead of in Jamrock. So that clarifies that. So, I apologize for getting my geography shifted. I'm trying very hard to only talk about things that we have seen or read. So I will make some mistakes in the process of doing that and in just recalling. It's been a while since I played the beginning portion of the game, but okay. So this Martinez is this area that you see on the screen and the surrounding area, which is a larger part of Revachol itself, I suppose. What am I doing here?
Standing in the rain, looking north, where Jamrock Rock City stretches inland.
Shudder, look no further.
In the rain-swept distance, above the rooftops of Jamrock, a repurposed silk mill stands perched above the motorway exit. Precinct 41 hunches in the rain.
Precinct 41.
It's the only home you have now, but you can't go back. Not like this.
So Precinct 41 is the precinct in charge of Jamrock, I believe, which is where we work.
Your vision blurs. You wipe your face with your hand. The rain stings your eyes, making you look up and blink.
We got some more experience. What's above?
Coalition aerostatics hang like apparitions under the cloud cover. Way up there, where rain forms, rotors flutter silently. Your sight clears.
Finish the thought.
This rain will not let up anytime soon. You should get a raincoat. There's a freight to the east. They sell them there.
So he does give you that tip as well. All right. And as we come outside the Whirling in Rags, and I zoom out using the mouse wheel, I don't quite get the amazing view that we got before, but if I push tab, you can see there's all sorts of things to interact with. There's these green contextual items that I can click on to get more information. And then this is a door, this is the car, there's this gate I can look at, there's this call box. This door is white. That usually means that you can't go through at the moment. You want it to be this kind of teal color. And we have a ton left to do. There's also a lady wearing yellow gloves sitting in this chair, perhaps, that we can speak with, a man leaning against this car here. But in all honesty, if we want to do our police work, and, you know, in a timely fashion, we should go investigate the body as soon as possible, which is straight up here, which Gart told us, through this gate, which he said is very wide open, to the body. And we will get into that next time. Everyone, I hope you're still finding this series to be useful and fun. And we're going to go nice and slow and really take in the game because it's such a great game. The writing is so important. and I am going to kind of just move through the game. I'm not going to go so fast that we don't get to read and experience things, because not only is that the pace that the game should be played at, but I also don't want to offer like this is a beeline to where you should be going, but instead kind of replicate the process of just wandering around to get clues, to talk to people, and to find out what's going on here in Martinez. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. Take care.